Hi everybody, it's Noah here from Fringes Essentials. In today's tutorial we are going to make the Chelsy blanket. It uses super bulky weight yarn number 6, so you're going to need 1100 yards of it, 9mm hook, scissors and book. We are going to start with a slip knot and then we chain 90. Alright, I have chained 90. We are going to start on our first row, so we are going to skip 2 chains, and then on the third chain we are going to make a double crochet. And we are going to do this until end of row. Our pattern is quite simple. It's just a 2-row repeat, and you can make this blanket as big as you want. It is pretty easy once you get the hang of the 2-row repeats. So I will meet you guys at the end of the row. We are done with row number 1. This is how it looks. Now we are going to work on row number 2. So we are going to chain 1 and turn. From here we are going to work slip stitch on the back loop. If you look closer here, there's like a V on top, so you are going to insert your hook on the furthest loop, and then you slip stitch, back loop, you slip stitch. It's pretty easy. You are going to do this until the end of the row. Make sure you leave or you make your stitches fairly loose when you do a slip stitch. Alright, I just finished my second row, and this is how it looks on the right side, and this is the wrong side. So next we are going to chain 2 and turn our work. From here we are going to work double crochets, and if you look very closely we have 1, 2, and then there's a loop at the back here, and this is where we are going to insert our hooks so that we still have this beautiful ridge in the front. So I'm gonna do double crochet. Again, if you look closely we have 1, 2, and then this one, so we are going to insert the hook on the furthest loop. In this pattern you'll have the right and the wrong side because it doesn't look the same. So you do double crochet on the back loop, and then you create this beautiful ridge, and when you turn your work, the other side looks like this. So this would be the wrong side and this is the right side. So So you continue to do this until the end of the row. All right, I have finished row 3 and this is how it looks. We are going to do the slip stitch again together one more time. I've already chained one and turned my work. So from here you are going to insert the hook on the back loop, this one here, and then you make a slip stitch. And that's it, guys. That's basically the stitch. It's nice and simple. Double crochet, and then you do slip stitch throughout, and you have a beautiful blanket. You can make it into any size you want, or even just make it with a less thick yarn. It would still turn beautifully. Okay, we are going to learn how to make a fringe. You're going to need a book or anything that you would need to wrap your yarn with. We're going to need a hook, pair of scissors, and yarn. We are using extra yarn from leftover yarn from the blanket now that we are done with it. So what we are going to do is we're going to wrap the yarn around this book. So this would be the length of our, like this would be the length of our fringe once we cut it out. So we are going to wrap the yarn around. I like to use the notebook because it gives us even fringe at the end. We are going to have the same length on the fringe when we edit, so we don't have to cut and try to trim the we don't have to try and trim the fringes once they are added to the blanket. So from here I'm going to cut the yarn and then cut the yarn on one end. So here we have it, and next we are going to add fringe on our blanket. So this is the bottom of our blanket. It's so big, so it won't fit in your screen. So I'm going to fold this in half, get it through, put it on the bottom, pull through. We're gonna have two, and then through this loop we insert the two loops around, and we have our first fringe. Some people like bulky fringes, so you can have like two strands of yarn at the same time. You insert the hook at the bottom stitch, pull it through, and then we put the two strands in through, so you get a bulkier fringe. So you're going to do this throughout your blanket. Fold the strand in half, make sure it's nice and equal, pull through, and then to use the two strands and pull it tight. You can also add a fringe with a different color, it's all up to you. Or if you do not want a fringe on your blanket, that is still okay. But for this particular pattern, I am adding a fringe to my blanket. So I will meet you guys at the end of our fringe installation. So far this is how it looks. So I'm going to put fringe on each of these until I get to the end. Don't forget to give this tutorial a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that every time we get new uploaded video you get notification, and then you can continue to make wonderful patterns for you and your family. Thank you for watching.